Hello and welcome back to Tinker Talks Guns. So I've mentioned that the purchase of the J.P. Sauer drilling has blown my gun budget well into next year. So not going to be purchasing any new guns. But there's a loophole. No one said anything about trading guns. So my collection rotates necessarily because I get curious about a gun, I get it, I find out, and sometimes I just have no need or want for it and it moves along. So yesterday I was thinking about things and I packed up several of the guns I'm done with and took them over to Pinto's Guns to trade them for credit against C&R purchases. I do have a Curio and Relics FFL, which means I can transfer certain guns, mostly old guns, with very little formality, which is really nice and handy. So, after having established the amount of credit I would have, I made several purchases. The first among them is this. This is a High Hunter 22 target pistol, and if you think it looks familiar, you're right. It's a knockoff of a Stevens target pistol, made in Germany. Single shot 22 with an extractor, a theoretically adjustable rear sight, somewhat, and a hooded front sight. Now this one is missing the mainspring and it needs a new grip, but those are things I can handle. So that's purchase number one. Purchase number two is a bolt action 410 shotgun. This was a Montgomery Wards single shot, and I'm guessing it dates to the 1920s. It has no serial number and little in the way of markings of any kind other than Western Field 410 gauge. And this has a purpose. My brother Joe, Sergeant Joe of Song and Legend, needs a garden gun, and he very much likes shooting my single shot 410. So I snagged this one. It was very inexpensive. And I'm going to be developing some garden loads for it, looking at maybe a quarter to a half an ounce of shot at about 700 feet per second, because he has a problem with varmints in his garden, and they have a very extensive garden. So there's going to be some fun to be had there for both of us. Me to develop the loads and him to employ it. This is also going bunny hunting with us in the very near future. Last but not least, it occurred to me some time ago that while I have shot lever action rifles extensively and even hunted with them, I used to borrow my neighbor's Savage Model 99 C308 to go deer hunting back in the 80s, but I have never actually owned a lever gun. I fixed that. This is a Winchester Model 1894, chambered in 32 Winchester Special. This was made in 1907, in the first half of 1907 in fact, and you may notice it is apparently in rather beautiful condition. That's because it's been refinished, which is why I couldn't afford it. This is the Eastern carbine variant with the short magazine, which holds 3 rounds of 32 Winchester Special, so 3+1 capacity. And the bluing and the refinishing of the wood is beautifully done, but it does have some issues, which again was why I could afford it. A gun in this condition, original from 1907, would be worth several grand. So those are the purchases, and this is a lovely little lever gun, very nicely, very beautifully blued, and as I said, the work on the wood is exceptional, and it's just overall kind of delightful. So let's go to the tabletop and have a closer look at these. So starting with the High Hunter, you can see that other than the cracked grip and the lack of a mainspring, it's actually in quite good condition. It has a simple push button release, and as you can see, it has an extractor rather than an ejector. And it's a very simple gun, but it's an interesting gun. And I'm sure it will prove to be quite accurate since the sights are mounted directly to the barrel and it is properly rifled and everything. And other than the cracked grip, it's in quite good shape. Now the 410 has had a hard life, and you can see it has a repair to the stock, a crack here, and some other bits of dings and signs of use, and a brass butt plate. It's kind of interesting. And overall, as I say, a very simple gun. And it does have a rear sight of sorts. And the front, of course, is just a standard shotgun bead. Now, the locking lug is here, locks directly into the receiver. And interestingly, this gun does not cock when you work the bolt. You have to manually pull the striker out to cock it after loading a round. The extractor is mounted on the bolt, and it does have a pin, you can see in there, to act as an ejector, so it should eject cartridges properly. And, it is not a highly finished gun. This was undoubtedly a very inexpensive gun when it was new. And it remains an inexpensive gun to this day. And as you can see, the stock is just a flat plank of wood that has been shaped into a shotgun stock. But overall, it's a serviceable weapon. The bore looks decent, and it should serve Joe well. Now, I mentioned some issues with this. Now, while the bluing job is beautiful, you can see they over-buffed badly when they refinished it. So all of the screw holes are now softened, all of the edges have been rolled over and softened. And to my eyes, it's quite an eyesore in that regard. It looks fabulous from 5 feet away, but up close, I can't help but see the issues. Nice pieces of wood, beautiful finish on them. And overall, except for the over-buffing, it seems to have been a very competent job. But I'm very pleased to have it, because if it had been more competently handled or was in original condition, it would be worth so much money I couldn't afford it. So, all to the good. So, I'm very pleased with the day's take yesterday. And you're going to see all of these guns in their own individual videos. Think of this as sort of a preview of things to come. In fact, in the case of the 410, what with all the load development that will be going on, it's likely you'll see it in more than one video. Anyway, I'd like to thank my supporters on Patreon. It's very much a shoestring operation, and your contributions help more than you know. Also like to shout out to channel benefactors, those individuals and businesses that have helped the channel in innumerable ways and really helped make this work. And as always, shout out to Rain City Shooting Center for providing material support to the channel. So, that's it. It's a short one, but it gives you a little idea of what's coming down the road. So I hope this finds you well. Stay safe, take care, and I'll talk to you again real soon.